Aria slammed her bedroom
Who's
door
there?
so hard the picture frames rattled on the wall.
I know I
Her
heard
mother's
something.
voice followed
You
her through the
betrayed
wood.
us.
Aria,
I had no choice.
this is not up for
Lies, you chose
discussion.
this. Please forgive me.
She pressed her back against the door.
Why does it hurt so
chest
much?
heaving, hands shaking. 3 months. They had given her 3 months before she
Why
would be
does it
handed
hurt
off
so
to a man
much?
she had never met, tied to a life she never chose, all wrapped up in a pretty
Why
dress
does it
and
hurt so
called
much?
tradition. She stared at the ceiling and whispered to herself, "There has to be another
Why does
way."
it hurt so
The
much?
phone buzzed. It was her best friend Jade. So, how bad was it? Aria slid down to the floor. They already
Why
picked
does
the
it hurt
date.
so much?
His name is Ethan Cole. His family owns half the city apparently.
Why
And
does
my
it hurt
parents
so
are
much?
acting like they just won the lottery. Okay, but wait. What does he look like?
Why does it
Jade,
hurt so
That is
much?
not the point. Right, sorry. So what are you going to do? Aria pulled her knees to her chest. I don't know. I can't just say no. My mom cried the last time I even suggested it. My dad looked like I slapped him. Jade went quiet for a moment. Then slowly, like she was testing the idea herself, she said, "What if you didn't say no? What if
I
you
need
just
to
made
find
him say
him.
no?" Aria blinked.
Have you seen him?
What? Think about
Please
it.
help me.
You can't reject
I
the
need to
marriage.
find him.
But what if you became
Have
someone
you
his
seen
family
him?
would never accept?
Please help
Show
me.
up unbothered,
I need to find
reckless,
him.
rude.
Have
Be
you
his
seen
worst
him?
nightmare.
Please
Make them
help me.
withdraw the offer
I
themselves.
need to find.
The room was silent. Then Aria stood up, walked to her mirror, and stared at her own reflection for a long time. "Jade," she said slowly, "you might be a genius." The next 3 days were the most chaotic preparation of Aria's life. She borrowed Jade's leather jacket, the one with the scuff marks on the shoulder. She practiced chewing gum with her mouth open and staring at people like she was bored of their existence. She drew a fake tattoo on the side of her neck with a black eyeliner pen, a small snake curling upward. She rehearsed her most unbothered expressions in the mirror until she barely recognized herself. Jade sat on her bed watching and nearly fell off twice from laughing. "You look ridiculous," Jade
This is
wheezed.
perfect.
"Good,"
Just like
Aria
you.
said,
To us.
adjusting her jacket.
To us.
"That's exactly the point."
This is
The
perfect.
first official meeting
like
was
you.
at Rosewood,
To us.
one of the most expensive
us.
restaurants in the city. White tablecloths, soft piano music. The kind of place where people spoke in hushed voices and pretended money was not the reason they were there. Aria arrived 7 minutes late. She walked in chewing gum, sunglasses on indoors, leather jacket thrown over a dress that was just appropriate enough to pass but just wrong enough to offend. Her mother's expression when she spotted her from across the room was something between shock and a silent prayer. She slid into her seat without apologizing for being late. Across the table, the Cole family sat composed and polished. Ethan's mother smiled tightly. His father gave a short nod. And then there was Ethan. He was leaning back in his chair, quietly watching her with dark eyes and an expression she could not read. Not offended, not impressed, just watching. Aria cracked her gum loudly. His jaw twitched, just barely. She made it through the appetizers by interrupting 3 conversations, mispronouncing the name of the restaurant on purpose, and at one point resting her elbow on the table and propping her chin up like she was watching something mildly boring on television. When both sets of parents excused themselves to speak with the host about a seating arrangement, Aria reached for her water glass. Then she heard a voice, low and calm and almost amused. "The tattoo is eyeliner." She froze. Ethan was looking at her calmly, one finger tracing the edge of his fork. "It's smudging slightly on the left side. Also, you've been performing since you walked in, which means this isn't who you actually are. So the question is, what are you trying to accomplish?" Aria set her glass down. She stared at him. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Yes, you do." He tilted his head slightly. "And for what it's worth, it was a solid performance. I almost believed the gum." The silence between them stretched. Then Aria let out a slow breath and dropped the act for exactly 3 seconds. "I don't want this marriage." Ethan nodded, unsurprised. "Neither do I." She blinked. "Then why are you here?" "Same reason you are. I can't just say no." He glanced toward where their parents had disappeared. "My father structured an entire business deal around this arrangement. If I refuse openly, It destroys something he's built for 20 years. I needed another way out. He looked back at her. Sound familiar? Aria sat back slowly. You're serious. Completely. So what are you suggesting? Ethan leaned forward slightly, voice low. We do it together. You keep the bad girl act. I play the difficult, incompatible partner. We make both families believe this is a disaster waiting to happen. They call it off themselves. Nobody gets hurt. We both walk free. The parents were making their way back. Aria looked at him hard. And I'm supposed to just trust you? Ethan straightened in his chair and picked up his fork like nothing had happened. Under the table, he extended his hand toward her. Right now, he murmured. I'm the only person in this room on your side. A beat. She shook his hand under the table. When their parents returned, Aria was already laughing too loudly at something that had not been said, and Ethan was staring at the ceiling like he was reconsidering every life decision. His mother looked pained. Aria's father loosened his collar. It was, by any standard, a terrible first date. It was also the beginning of everything. The next 2 weeks were the most fun Aria had experienced in years, and she hated how much she enjoyed it. They texted each other fake fight scripts at midnight. She would send him lines like, "Tell them I threw your phone in the fountain," and he would reply, "Already told my mother you insulted her cooking." She looked like she needed oxygen. At the next family dinner, they argued loudly about something trivial, his obsession with structure, her complete disregard for responsibility, while their parents exchanged nervous glances across the table. Aria's mother kept touching her pearls. Ethan's father cleared his throat 4 times in 10 minutes. After dinner, when they were waiting outside while the families said goodbye, Ethan leaned against the wall beside her and said quietly, "2 more performances like that and my father will fold." "Mine too," she said. "He hates conflict." "Then we're close." Aria nodded. She should have felt relieved. Instead, she felt something else she did not have a name for yet. Started small. The evening they were both early to a meeting and sat in the car park for 20 minutes waiting. He noticed the sketchbook in her bag and asked about it. She showed him, half expecting a polite comment. Instead, he went through every page slowly, and when he looked up he said, "Aria, these are genuinely incredible. Why have you never done anything with this?" She shrugged. "My family thinks art is a hobby, not a career." He looked at her with something quiet and real in his expression. That's a terrible reason to hide something this good. Nobody had ever said that to her before. Then there was the evening she arrived early at his family's home and saw him through the hallway, sitting beside his younger sister Maya, helping her rehearse a school presentation their father had already dismissed as unimportant. He did voices for her cue cards. He made her laugh. He took 40 minutes out of his evening without once making it feel like a sacrifice. Aria stood in that hallway longer than she should have. That night she called Jade. "Jade, I think I'm in trouble." "What happened? Did the plan get exposed?" "No. Worse." She paused. "What if he's actually a good person?" Silence. "Aria, I know. How good are we talking?" He spent 40 minutes helping his sister rehearse a presentation nobody else cared about. "He told me my art was incredible. He remembers small things I say. She stopped. "He's not who I thought he was." Jade's voice softened. "Oh no. You like him." "I didn't say that. You didn't have to." Ethan found her 2 days later with real news. "My father is ready. One more incident and he withdraws the offer." "We're almost done, Aria." She looked at him standing there, and for the first time the finish line felt less like freedom and more like a door closing. "That's great," she said. Her voice came out flat. He studied her. "Hey, are you okay?" She opened her mouth, and that was the moment her mother appeared at the end of the hallway. "Aria, can I speak with you?" "Alone." Her mother sat across from her in the kitchen, hands folded, eyes tired. Jade mentioned something. Her mother began carefully. "About a plan." Aria's stomach dropped. "I'm not angry," her mother said quickly, and the gentleness in her voice was somehow worse than anger. I need you to know something." She exhaled slowly. I pushed this arrangement because I was scared, not because I wanted to control you, because I watched you carry everything alone for so long and I thought, if I found you someone steady, someone good, you wouldn't have to be so alone anymore. Aria felt her throat tighten. I should have asked you, her mother whispered. I should have asked instead of decided. I'm sorry. The tears came before Aria could stop them. She reached across the table and held her mother's hand, and for a long moment neither of them said anything at all. She found Ethan before the final family meeting. The plan is out, she said. My mother knows. He straightened. Okay. How bad? Ethan. She cut him off gently. I don't want a fake fight today. He went still. He looked at her for a long moment, reading her face the way he had learned to over the past weeks, the way that made her feel seen without feeling exposed. Me neither, he said quietly. They walked into the meeting room together. No script, no performance, just two people standing in front
This
of their
is
families,
perfect.
honest
Just
for
like
the
you.
first time since it
To
all
us.
began. Aria
To
spoke
us.
first. We don't
This
want
is
an arranged
perfect.
marriage.
Just like
But
you.
that's not because we
us.
hate each other.
To us.
She glanced at Ethan.
This
We'd
is
just like the
perfect.
chance to actually
Just like you.
choose. The room
To
was
us.
silent.
To
Ethan's
us.
father looked at his son
This
for
is
a long
perfect.
moment. Then
Just
he
like you.
nodded. Once.
To us.
Slow.
To
Aria's
us.
mother reached across and
This is
covered Aria's
perfect.
hand with both
Just
of
like
hers.
you.
Outside
To us.
afterward,
To
Aria
us.
and Ethan stood in the
This
cool
is
evening air.
perfect.
No
Just like
plan
you.
between them.
To us.
No act to maintain.
To us.
So, he said,
This is perfect.
what now?
Just
She
like you.
smiled.
To
A
us.
real one, unscripted
us.
and unhurried.
This
I
is
guess we figure that
perfect.
out ourselves.
Just like you.
He smiled
To
back.
us.
I can
To
work
us.
with that. If you made it this
This is
far, you already know this story
Just
had you
like
from the
you.
gum scene.
To us.
So hit that like button,
To us.
subscribe so you never miss a
This is
story,
perfect.
and drop in the
Just
comments.
like you.
Team
To
Aria
us.
all along?
To
Or
us.
did Ethan win you over?
This
See
is
you in the
perfect.
next one.
This is